All right, today is 13.5. No, 13.6. Sorry, this is 13.6 where we are solving radical equations. So, step one, first thing we need to do, this is a little bit of a review, we should square both sides. If you want to try and pause it and solve this on your own and then check your work, that'd be great. Pause the recording. Otherwise, keep following. So now, when I square both sides, I get 2x plus 3 equals x squared. I'm going to subtract both 2x and 3 from both sides so that I can get everything equal to 0. Now, I have three choices here. I can use the quadratic formula, I can complete the square, or I can factor. Since this is easy enough, what multiplies to negative 3 and adds to negative 2 is negative 3 and 1. So I'm going to factor x plus 1, x minus 3. My solutions are negative 1 and 3. The thing is here, because we have a radical, we must check our work, because many times we will have an extraneous solution. So when I substitute in negative 1, I get negative 2, 3 makes positive 1. The square root of positive 1 does not equal to negative 1. And x, substituting in, and we get, all right. Now, you guys try this one. Pause the recording and do the next problem. All right, now let's check our work. What am I doing, Xander?
Well, first you square both sides.
We're going to square both sides, and we get
2x plus 15 equals x to the second plus, well, you have to x plus 6 times x plus 6.
right. What we're really doing is x plus 6 times x plus 6. I want to remind you, we're not squaring x and squaring 6. I had multiple people doing that earlier. So what does this really add up to? It's
x to the second plus 12x plus 36.
okay, now pause 1 second. I'm going to remind you, when I add these last two digits, that is the sum. And when I multiply these two last digits, that is the product right there. So that's how we can do it really quickly. Okay, so that equals x squared plus 12x. And now we are going to subtract all to one side. Subtract 2x, subtract 15. And we are here. What would you like to do?
I found a, b, and c.
So he found a, b, and c. A equals 1, b equals 10, c equals 21. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So x equals, can you please stop talking? Negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times 21 all over 2 times 1. So x equals negative 10 plus or minus 100 minus 81. 100 minus 81. Something's wrong there, right? What did I do wrong? I know you can do that, but we should be able to do this. 4a and c. Okay, it's 100 minus 81. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. 100 minus 84. Now that equals something that's much better. X equals negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 16 over 2. So this is negative 10 plus or minus 4 over 2. Branches out to negative 10 plus 4 over 2, negative 10 minus 4 over 2. So this is 6. Negative 6 over 2 is negative 3, and this is negative 14 over 2 is negative 7. Now, I'm with Boeing on this. I think I would have rather factored, because I know that 7 and 3 add up to 21. But I want you to see that you can do that, and then it becomes negative 7, negative 3, but you have to check for your solutions. Which one was extraneous? Yep.
-7.
-7. You can see that it didn't work there. Okay, are there any questions? Okay, next problem. Remember to isolate your radical, then figure out what x is. Pause the recording. All right, I'm going to go ahead. So what do we do first? What am I doing first? How about bowing? Subtracting 2. And then I'm left with x minus 2 equals the square root of x plus 4. What do I do next, Rashmiya? Squaring both sides. And we end up with x squared minus 4x minus 4. Remember, we're going to double distribute. And then equals x plus 4. Go. Subtract x and subtract 4. And you should be ending up with something pretty easy to factor. Lucas Malou, how do I factor that?
You just do x and then in parentheses x minus 5.
X times x minus 5. X is equal to 0, and 5 minus x is equal to, x minus 5 equals 0 is equal to 5. X is equal to 5. And now we have to try them both. What is is there an extraneous solution? Yes. 0 is the extraneous solution. We check our 5. It works. And now we move on. All right. Rearranging formulas right as we go. We're going to go quickly. We have to isolate. What this means is solve for the x. Get x alone. That's what the colon means. So what do I do first to get the x alone? Let's go with Daniel. Divide both sides by a. And now I'm left with this. What would I do, Patrick?
So x squared is equal to y over a, and then you do the radical. So
We root both sides.
root both sides, and then have to, x is equal to the
Y over a. Now, notice it says assume all variables are non-negative. In this case, we don't have to rationalize any of that. There's no rationalizing. I'm not sure why they don't want us rationalizing, but when you rearrange formulas, when we transform formulas, just get your x alone, and you don't have to, like it says, don't worry about the negatives. Does that make sense? Okay, what would I do to the next one? Let's go with Caleb.
First you would square the x.
Nope.
Divide by a.
Divide both sides by a. Good. And then
After you do that, square it.
square both sides. Okay, and so that means we have x equals y squared over a squared. Are there any questions? Okay. I don't see a lot of people writing. I see you just listening. That usually doesn't help you with notes for later. All right, transforming formulas. What do I do first, Patrick?
So first you have to make the a squared go to the other side, so it's minus a squared.
Okay, so first I'm going to subtract a squared from both sides, and now we are going to
You have to then root it, so
root.
Yes.
Now, just a reminder, we can't take the square root. I'm not done. I didn't say pack up. Stop. Stop. I'm on a recording. Okay, so now I'm taking the square root. Can we root c squared minus a squared? No, because that means c minus a, c plus a. There's no perfect square in there, so we just leave it as is. Questions? Okay, moving on to the last one. What do we need to do to get the a alone? Go, Matthew. Okay, quick.
You square a alone.
Square both sides. Okay, we square both sides. When I do that, I'm left with a over pi equals r squared.
And then you multiply pi on both sides.
Multiplying both sides by pi, and we get a equals pi r squared. You remembering how to transform formulas?
Yes.
Excellent. That's the video.